The story of an uptown rat that gets flushed down the toilet from his penthouse apartment, ending in the sewers of London, where he has to learn a whole new and different way of life. Today, we will recap the story of the 2006 movie, Flushed Away. The movie starts in a small town called Kensington, located in England. A taxi pulls up to a house and the residents quickly pack their bags to leave for vacation. Before leaving, a young girl named Tabitha visits her pet mouse, Roddy, and fills his plate with food. Roddy gets excited and starts playing with some toys, even driving around in a toy car to complete some activities on his list. Later on, Roddy settles in to watch a movie with a doll, but is interrupted by a strange noise. As he investigates, a sewer rat named Sid flies out of the kitchen sink and into the house. Sid decides to stay in the house and Roddy imagines how terrible his life will be with Sid around. To trick Sid, Roddy offers to take him to a jacuzzi, but instead leads him to the bathroom and tricks him into getting into the toilet. Sid catches on and sends Roddy into the sewers. Roddy panics as he sees some slugs and he runs away. While trying to find a way out of the sewer, Roddy hears a strange noise and runs towards it. He emerges from a tunnel and falls onto a drawing of London's sky view. He apologizes to the rat who drew the picture and realizes that he is in a sewer city called Ratropolis, which is designed to resemble London. Roddy gets dragged by an amusement ride and lands on a man who's trying to move a royal guard. Suddenly, a man warns him that someone would soon open the floodgates, which will destroy Ratropolis. Roddy seeks help from a police officer to get to the surface, and a food seller tells him to go to the captain of a boat called the Jammy Dodger, who can help him. The food seller accompanies Roddy to the boat, and Roddy thanks him as he leaves. On the ship, Roddy is captured by a robotic hand, but meets Rita, the captain of the Jammy Dodger, and asks for her help. However, some evil rats arrive and she tells Roddy to be quiet as they hide. Rita reveals that the rats are pursuing her and accidentally pushes the boat's horn, which reveals their location. The rats capture Rita and Roddy, and Spike asks Rita for a ruby. Despite her attempts to escape, Whitney captures her and holds her upside down. Roddy reveals that the ruby is in Rita's back pocket, and Spike retrieves it as Whitney lets him go. The rats take Rita and Roddy to their boss's house, where they meet the Toad, and Spike gives him the ruby. Roddy informs the Toad that he is from the surface, and the Toad shows him his collection of the royal family. Roddy calls the collection amusing, but the Toad gets offended and walks towards Roddy. As Roddy walks away, he accidentally hits some items in the collection, causing a chain reaction that destroys the entire collection. The Toad leads Roddy and Rita to a freezer where he uses liquid nitrogen to freeze his enemies. Spike and Whitney trap Roddy and Rita in a cup within the freezer, but the pair manages to escape using a paperclip. The Toad later discovers that his hench rats were frozen instead of Roddy and Rita. Roddy and Rita successfully retrieve the gem and escape. Rita utilizes the room's master cable as a zipline to exit the building, with Roddy clinging onto her. They land on a pipe, and Rita uses the cable as a belt to jump off the pipe and land safely on the floor. Roddy follows suit, but accidentally hits his groin several times before finally reaching the ground. Afterwards, Roddy searches for Rita and ends up landing on her boat, where he discovers that the gem he retrieved is actually a fake. He breaks the ruby with Ace and tells Rita that a real ruby should not be so easy to break. This angers Rita, and she attacks Roddy, revealing that the ruby was going to change her life. Eventually, Roddy apologizes to Rita and assures her that he can give her a real ruby if she helps him return home to the surface. They agree on the deal and shake hands. Meanwhile, the Toad's hench rats enter the building as he speaks to his tadpoles. He asks them if they have found the master cable, which he needs before the World Cup final starts. Rita and Roddy arrive at her house, where she reunites with her siblings and relatives. Roddy watches from outside as Rita enjoys spending time with her family. Rita's mom invites Roddy inside, and they have dinner together. Rita informs her dad, who broke all his bones searching for the ruby, that Roddy is from the surface, and he requests to speak with her privately. Rita's father warns her about the dangerous journey to the surface, but Rita tells him that Roddy will pay them for the services. Later, Roddy overhears Rita's plan to ditch him while taking some dishes to the kitchen. He gets upset, steals a Jammy Dodger, and leaves the house. After a while, the boat breaks down, and Roddy becomes angry as he tries to fix it. Soon, Rita arrives on a ship and explains to Roddy that her brother was the one who made the plan, and no one pays attention to his silly plans. She makes Roddy sit on a rubber duck and grab a rope attached to the boat as it moves. She then uses the mechanical arm to get him on the boat, and he confesses that he wasn't eavesdropping but appreciating her family and thinking of how lucky she is. Rita forgives Roddy for stealing her boat and instructs him to remove the barnacles on the boat. Spike and Whitney arrive and pursue Rita and Roddy, but Rita moves the boat rapidly to escape the goons. She traps one of the goons using a frosty whip, but the others continue to pursue them. Roddy instructs Rita to move into the tunnel, and he grabs a giant balloon to block the tunnel behind them. Spike and Whitney pop the balloon and continue to pursue them. Spike launches himself onto the jammy dodger and tries to attack Roddy, but Rita initiates the boat's turbo, and the boat moves extremely fast. The rope holding Spike reaches its elastic limit, and he gets dragged off the jammy dodger. He hits a pipe and proceeds to hit several objects before landing on his boat and breaking it, causing it to capsize. Rita and Roddy are racing along the walls of a tunnel, trying to avoid a boat. Meanwhile, Spike and Whitney return to a toad who scolds them for failing to retrieve a master cable. The toad tries to catch a fly with his tongue, but his French cousin, a little frog, arrives and catches it instead. The toad tells the frog that Rita and Roddy have the master cable and asks him to retrieve it from them. He plans to use the cable to flush away the rats and shares a story about how he used to be Prince Charles' pet. Apparently, the butler once flushed a rat down the toilet while Charles was playing with it. Later, Roddy and Rita are having dinner and Roddy realizes he cooked maggots instead of rice. Rita compliments his cooking skills as he cleanups, and they chat as they get ready for bed. Rita asks Roddy about his family, and he lies that he has relatives he enjoys spending time with. They say goodnight and go to sleep. The next morning, Rita wakes Roddy up with her horn and tells him they are nearing Kensington. Just then, Leapfrog and his henchmen arrive on a boat and talk to the toad on a video call. Leapfrog demands the master cable from Rita, and she knows he plans to use it during the World Cup final between England and Germany. While Leapfrog's goons are distracted by a fly, Rita attaches their tongues to a branch, and they get tangled up and hang above the water as the boat moves, and Leapfrog tries to attack Rita to get the master cable back. They arrive at a place called the Rapids, where the current is strong and pulls their boat into a tunnel. The boat goes down a big pipe, but a mechanical arm stops it from falling. Leapfrog takes the master cable from Rita and pushes the boat back into the water. Roddy and Rita nibble on some ropes and use a parachute to escape the sewer. They float into the sky and Rita retrieves the master cable from Leapfrog. They use the cable to exit the sewer and enter Roddy's house. In the sky, Rita asks Roddy where his house is, and he directs her to it. They enter through the chimney and celebrate their victory. However, Roddy realizes that the jammy dodger was destroyed and apologizes to Rita. To make up for it, he gives her a real ruby and another gem to help her rebuild the jammy dodger. Rita hugs him and asks for a tour of the house to meet his family. As they tour the house, Roddy's loneliness becomes apparent, and Sid, Rita's friend, walks in. Roddy tries to pretend that Sid is his brother, but he eventually admits the truth to Rita. Sid insults Roddy and leaves the room with a doll. Rita confronts Roddy, and he confides in her that he needs to get rid of Sid. He asks her to leave, and she does. Roddy goes to the living room and sits beside Sid, drinking water. While he drinks, he realizes that the toad plans to flood the sewers with water during halftime of the World Cup final, using the master cable to get rid of the rodents. In the meantime, Rita is captured by the toad and his henchmen. The toad reconnects the master cable to the main machine and waits for halftime. Roddy takes Sid to the toilet and urges him to flush him down the toilet. Sid flushes him down, and he finds himself in Ratropolis. There, he spots Rita hanging from a pipe and uses a balloon to reach her. However, the toad captures them both and reveals his plan to repopulate the city with his tadpoles. Roddy takes advantage of the distraction caused by the goons and opens the liquid nitrogen pipe to freeze them. The toad chases them on a liquid nitrogen pipe, but Rita manages to trap him. The toad then captures Rita, but Roddy uses Leapfrog's tongue to rescue her. A huge wave of water emerges in the city, but the liquid nitrogen freezes it before it reaches the town. In the end, the toad and Leapfrog get their tongues stuck in a gear, and Roddy asks Rita if she would like him to be a crew member in the new jammy dodger. They rebuild the boat, and Rita along with Roddy and her family activate the boat and sail away, while Sid is at home when Tabitha returns with her pet cat scaring him. And that's the end of our recap of the animated movie Flushed Away. We hope you enjoyed reliving the exciting journey of Roddy and Rita as they navigated the bustling city of Ratropolis and outsmarted the villainous Toad. But the excitement doesn't stop here, and next, we'll be diving deep into the world of the Incredibles. Join us as we follow the Parr family, a family of superheroes forced to live a quiet life in the suburbs. However, when duty calls, they must suit up and save the day. So click this video and I'll see you there.